Hi, my name is Bruce Brown. I am with Brown Dragon Studio. I am a sculptor and a teacher. I started working, with bronze originally for my art, and the last 10 years I've been teaching and developing programs with various organizations throughout Toronto.
When I first met you, you were sculpting in bronze.
Yeah, that's how I started basically with bronze. I mean, that's, in a way you can say, that's my main discipline. It's sort of, you have to be with a medium like that. So it taught me a lot working in, so it's demanding. You can't just start bronze. So I did though, so I always end up doing things a little bit backwards, but it seems to work out. But bronze, yeah. Now I work with clay. I like bronze.
So when you were sculpting in bronze, the original sculptures, what medium were you using before the casting?
Wax. It's basically called lost wax casting. Almost everything that's done in metal in a casting form is done with a pattern, and most fine art things are done through a wax, and from jewelry and things like that. So yeah, it was interesting sort of to learn that in a way, and that's kind of why I went backwards. Bronze and wax is something usually people work up towards. This is the way things fell in place for me. It just seemed that was what I started with. So it was kind of cool. It was good to learn.
So you've been sculpting for a long time now. Tell me a bit about your work and your body of work.
All right, well, a long time is right. It's something I've done as a child. It was a hobby kind of thing. And I think when I was in my early teens, I got an interest in art, and just to follow it further. Instead of play, I took it a little more serious and started looking at anatomy books. And sort of played around, trying to, copy them to a point and interpret them into sculpture. You get kind of fascinated by it. I guess you'd say my main theme are humans. I mean, one of the hardest things to draw and paint would be the human form. And I just got hooked into that for some reason.
So you've been working at Creative Works for some time now. Can you tell me a bit about the work you do there?
Creative Works. Creative Works is a studio that deals with, it's an art studio for people that are suffering from mental illness and things of that nature. It's built for occupational therapy, and they use art, and I love the quote, art is the therapy, it's not art therapy, and it's an amazing facility. I've been there for, about going into 5 years now, and you see you could say the power of art in ways that it's not recreational. Just by doing and practicing art, the results are so beneficial to people that are dealing with almost anything. And I think it's beneficial for everybody, but when it's sort of focused in on a situation where people are there that do need some sort of therapy, I don't even know if I like to say it. It's created this space where people that come in right away feel welcomed. Not only welcome, but the support. There's a whole bunch of things, but it's all based on art and creativity. So there's nobody there to analyze your art going on, It's about the expression, about giving you that moment to do it. And the results aren't just sort of what you see in people, how it changes them, but to watch people grow in an art medium. And it's been it's one of my favorite places to go. I mean, I haven't missed a beat in 5 years. And I like them. They're pretty cool. I mean, everybody there they treat everybody so well. It's almost like family in a way. And even when you talk to the members, part of the importance of having facilities like this are where they can actually gather together and be with people that, well, treat them fair. Because if anybody knows anything about, mental illnesses, is once you're afflicted with something, your life changes. Mm-hmm. Everything changes, including the way people, your friends even, are different towards you. And there, what I've been noticing is art sort of puts everybody on the same level. Mm-hmm. And they're not there for anything else except for being creative. And I believe it brings the best out of people. And there you see the results immediately.
So you've had people that have been coming through the program for a long time. How can you see that it's changed? People, you've been there for 5 years. What sort of changes have you seen?
Best way to answer that, would be more or less because the new members that come in. Somebody comes in, through this program you have to be referred through a doctor. It's run through St. Mike's Hospital. Isabel Freisberg is the founder. And I've been there many times, and you'll see somebody come in, and once they're afflicted, like I don't have a mental illness, and a lot of people don't, so it's hard to sort of relate to it. But when you see sort of somebody coming in and they're in a fragile state, basically, right? They're just usually just getting back into society is the point when they take recommendations in. So they're scared, they're nervous, they could be dealing with depression, there's a lot of things. And when they're going into a new environment, you can almost see them just sit there with their eyes open and very, what am I doing here, you know? Once they get active in art, this change comes over them. They loosen up, they start laughing, smiling, they get involved, they get focused. And you can see it physically on them. They hold themselves differently. They're more open to talk to people. As before, they may be really shy, but now they have something to share. And like I say, one thing about Creative Works is the support everybody there can give each other, because a lot of them can relate to it. They're going through similar situations. That is what I see a lot of, you know. And I know, I mean, Creative Works has a very good website and things like that, and we're documenting everything, but even people have said, this place has saved my life. And you know, because a lot of people are dealing with something severe. And I think the part of it is they finally get a couple hours a night or a day to not worry about everything. It gives them that time to just relax, to think, this is a safe place. I don't have to worry about being judged, and I don't have to worry about what others are going to say to them. And that's valuable for anybody in our society now. Just a couple of hours of just breathing and stillness is something you can enjoy on. I mean, I know how much good it does for me, but when you hear the way that members talk about it and how important it is for them, you realize there's a value to art that we don't look at anything properly. Creativity is a strong part of our whole existence. Being human, that's a part of it. And we don't look at it that way in our society. It's funny, we look at it like it's a hobby, it's nice, you paint pictures. But the reality is there's a process that goes on. And when you use your imagination in the right way, it brings sort of the best out of you when you're sort of focused. It's something in your head you want to. It's almost like a plaything for people, right? Adults can't play like you can when you're a kid.
Right.
Art gives you that. That's just one of the many aspects of it. When you finally do get to the point when you're focused, then you almost achieve, in a way, a meditative state. Not a lot of people talk about it. People that practice arts, they know it. Like you said earlier, that zone. Well, when you're in that zone, I mean, time slows down, right? Sound, you don't hear what's going on. You're so focused and involved in what you're doing that's kind of one of the benefits of it all. I mean, that's sort of what I like, and that's what I look at, and the way it affects people. Now, working with the amount of people that I have over the years, and there's been a lot in a lot of programs, I don't change my program much. When I'm dealing with kids, when I'm dealing with adults, basic fundamentals are what I try to get across, and then introduce the imagination into that.
So you think being creative is fundamentally a part of being human, and our society just, it doesn't stimulate that much, or it doesn't value that as much?
Two things. I'll go back to the stimulate. No, it does, but it's a fast food stimulation now. We get a lot of that from the media, movies, videos. I mean, you know, you look at what's going on now, and everything is so high tech. That's our creative outlet, and it's not a true one. It's somebody else's. We get to participate. I don't know, I think once you're active in doing something creative instead of playing a game, it's like watching a movie, right? You're along for the ride, along for the story, right? And movies are I guess, are modern day stories instead of storytellers that pass through that, which is good, but it's entertainment, right? And you interact with somebody else's thoughts, their own creativity. Now, to do something creative for yourself is a whole different thing, which isn't offered like it used to be. Nowadays, a lot of it's done through like a technical side of things. And that's okay, but I don't think it's the true kind of feeling of what it's like to paint something, to create something. Yeah, it's a part of our DNA. Bottom line is, the caveman, they had paintings on their walls. Modern man, the same thing. There's always a need for us to have art as a part of us. I don't know why. I think it's literally, I think it's a DNA thing. It's an important part of being, and it has since we were human, you know, when we first evolved. It's always been right up until modern day, and I don't think it'll go away. But we got to look at it differently now. And I mean, problem solving, thinking creatively is really important, and they're looking for ways. I know a lot of corporations will bring artists in to do workshops and things like that, and they're looking at that as a value. Intellect is good, but you know, you've got to be able to figure out what to do with what you know. And that's where your creativity comes in. Being able to try, being able to look at things differently, problem solving and all that stuff, it does spill over. It's been proven. Music. When people practice music, their math skills automatically go up just because of the notes and the structure of it. Sculpture, for me, I've had this, a lot of people say, now I can't look at things the same, which is a good thing. So they're breaking and seeing the shapes and the forms that make things. It will influence everything you do in a positive way, and it can only affect it in a positive way, as far as I'm concerned, right. Because creativity has to be in a sort of put yourself in a positive zone. When you're frustrated and you're negative, it will affect the work that you put out, and you'll see it right away. So there's a lot of things, like I say, I don't think we've quite tapped into it now, and it's funny, only in this society now. Like, you got to think, up until, well, TVs and stuff that were invented, everybody had to be creative. Before the radio, what did people do to entertain themselves? They played music. Yeah. Right? How did you see a movie? You didn't. You maybe saw a painting that had the same impact, or you went to hear somebody tell a story, or a play. Right. Right? So it's the last 100 years where the art things got pushed aside and looked at differently and overwritten away. We don't need art now. We've got TV. We can take a picture of it instead of have somebody draw it. Right. And that's why it's getting further away from our culture, but yet we still need it like we did. Well, thank you for watching. Once again, my name is Bruce Brown, and I hope you enjoy this website. Please encourage other people to come and look on the site as well. There'll be upcoming artists coming in the future. If you need to get a hold of me, right now the best way would be through my email address, which is browndragonstudio@yahoo.ca. In the future there will be, I guess, other things coming up that I have going, but I will add on to this as we go. Starting a business adventure with a friend of mine. Look for, hopefully in the future, Dragon and the Dragon and the Gypsy Art Studios, which we're hoping to open up in the new year. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and encourage people to visit the site. Thanks.